Hello and good morning and hi Eva, how you doing today? So today I'm going to be working on some continuation of working on some Blender stuff with Blender 2.82 and I'm building a custom 3D building and putting it into a WalkTheWeb scene. So today's part 2. There's already part 1 out there on the video. Good deal. Good deal. Hey, it's good to see you again, Eva. Okay, so let's go to some code page. Let me see. I think it's better if I put my, I don't know which side's better for me right now, but we're going to put it over here. I don't know. We'll bounce it back and forth as needed. There's no great place to show my mug no, while you're on there. So, but yeah, so we've got this building that we started creating, and notice in WalkTheWeb we have it where we can walk around and stuff. Notice the insides of the buildings, we do not have walls on the inside, so when we look inside the door we actually see through it. But there's the outside of the building. We've been kind of working on making sure that it's the right height and all this other stuff to walk up. One of the things I ended on that I want to start with today is that when I created this, by the way, I do have my the keys out here, the screencast keys, so now you can see what I'm typing as I go, which is a thing I should have had going last time. Apologize for that. But let's see. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to turn off the, well, actually, that is the very first thing I need. So before I go any farther, okay, before we finished last time, one of the things I did was I put a ramp on top of the different, both of these pieces here. To go up the steps. It makes it real easy to flow up the steps, but it doesn't if the normals for them are going the wrong direction. So now, if the normals are going upward, now you can walk on it. Otherwise, it'll suck you right in and think you're supposed to be on the other side of the normal, and it'll try to push you through it. So you get stuck on the ground and can't walk up the steps. So that's the first thing I had to do. The other part is we're going to create... we're going to fix a couple things here with this. One of them is, if we go to our materials, we have materials, we put windows on it the other day. I'm going to add another one. Okay, let's see if it, there we go, add another one. I'm going to say new, and come on. Is my computer just not cooperating with me today? There it goes. New material, and I'm going to call this transparent. And the reason for this one is actually I'm making these steps where you can't see them, but you need to be able to walk up them. So I put an invisible ramp over the top of it. And the first thing I'm going to do is take the base color, drop it down to 0, take the alpha on it, drop it down to 0. We're going to do that for Blender. For Blender, you can actually just do the alpha setting, but for Babylon, so you can go down here to this alpha setting. You can set it to transparent, and that'll take care of it. But when it comes to Babylon, it basically needs the alpha within each one of the color, the emissive, this subsurface, and the color, base color, to all be transparent on their alphas for it to work. So we do that, and then we say alpha blend, shadow mode. We don't need any shadows on something that's transparent. If it was Windows, I might do a little shadow or something, but right now we're just going to drop that down to nothing, and we're going to leave that to alpha blend down here. So now that I've done that, those actually turn out to be transparent. So let's see if we can get a materials preview here. It's not much of a preview, right? Oh, the last thing that helps is if I select both these objects, I did the transparent, helps if I assign it. Now we've got a transparent piece over the top of the stairs. That in itself will allow me to walk up the stairs without having to worry about each step and the jerking of it. And, you know, the WalkTheWeb is designed to look in front of the avatar, look for steps within a certain range, less than 1 unit high or 1 unit or lower, and it's designed to actually change the gravity so that it will go up steps. But whenever I design something, I like even more positive possible ways to make sure that it's gonna go up the steps. So what I do is I do these transparent ramps up the steps just to make sure if somebody builds a custom avatar and if their avatars don't have certain things, it'll still glide right up these steps like it belongs there. So that's the purpose in doing something like that. Okay. The other thing I'm going to start doing as we work on this is I'm going to start putting in some different materials. I'll get into texturing on a different day, but for now, one of the things is it's a lot easier to see what we're working with if we start texturing things in different ways. Kind of, helps your eyes see it differently and work with different pieces. So, well, I'll figure out where I want to start with that, but the window panes, like all the way around this window panes and stuff, we're going to actually texture those. We're going to say add another texture and new, and we'll call it window panes. You can use spaces or whatever in your names. It still works in WalkTheWeb. That's not a concern. I'm just in a habit. I tend to do things like that. The idea is that this one's going to be some bright white. It'll have a texture on it by the time I'm done, so I'm not too worried about the texture. But I want to start by taking a lot of stuff around here. By sectioning them off now, it kind of saves later on. It's going to be the same thing, by the way. I don't need the normals showing right now. No reason to overshow the diagram. Okay, so first thing I'm going to do is start grabbing with shift. I'm going to start grabbing all. Well, let's start with this. No, wrong way. Let's try this. That gets us all the way around with that. I'm going to try right on that line. Got that one. And I'm going to try it over here. And okay, I can get as much as I can. Nah, I don't want that one. Okay, I'll keep on going. We'll get as much as we can. But the thing is, once I select them at different times, I'll just click on window planes and say assign. Now, if the base color, I'm gonna separate this just so I know things that I have or haven't changed. I'm gonna leave it green for now, just to have it really highlight the difference between the things that I've selected and the things I haven't yet. Okay, and yeah, I'll start working my way through all this. Yeah. I think it's easier to select all this and then just turn off the ones I don't need afterwards. I can also change the size of this, kind of makes it easier. Sometimes it's easier to grab everything and then unselect the things that you don't want captured afterwards. Whatever you have to do to get the right items in the right way. And you can also use shift, obviously. I want all these little crevices in here. We'll get them all. But by doing this, this kind of helps separate some of the pieces. So, Eva, what have you been working on? And I can always, oops, move that around here. I don't want that one. Well, let's see. I'm going to do this the easy way. Select these, and then unselect those. Yeah, do it again. Okay. Let's set them to... here, I can unselect these now. I'm sure there'll be a few more here that I have to catch that I didn't get on the first sweep, but this will be pretty good. Let's start with that. Oh, there's that wall behind it got selected somehow, and we're going to fix that right now. And select that. There's going to be some more from the inside that we'll have to select on these, but we'll just work it out. Assign those. How are they looking? Okay, and there's some on the back side of it, so yeah. Whatever we have to do to get in here. Move it in here. And I know I could have tried some things with linked, but I think I'm linked to a lot of stuff. So we'll get it pieces at a time here and make sure we get all the pieces we want. So I'm going to click that, shift that, that. I think I got a lot of them by doing that. And it's set, transparent, assign. Wow, you can really see which ones I didn't get when this goes through, huh? And assign. There's some cleanup that'll happen. See how that's doing a double image there or something? We've got another piece that's overstacked over the top of it. So we'll be cleaning up some of that stuff as we go. Okay, it looks like, and there's some also double images down in this area I can see. So there we go. See if that, I think we already got it assigned. There's some double things, but this is going to help us get some of the pieces in place here so we know what we're working with and what needs to be set. Okay, and that right there is, okay, it looks like we're missing a full-on piece down here. Where are we? Oh, yeah, it goes underneath the steps. Okay. No worries. That's part of the inside of the building, not the outside. We're kind of doing the outside right now. Okay, so what I'm getting is I'm starting to get some definition on this around the different pieces I'm working on, just to kind of separate them out. Makes it easy to work with. Assign that for now. And then we're going to do some for new. This will be columns. Which means clicking on this over here. And selecting all the various parts of this. Some of these shortcut keys are awesome, aren't they? That one, and we're going to set it to columns, assign. We can, for now, I'm just going to put these in different colors just so that we can see what we're dealing with and what's colored what. See, that helps. When we texture them, we'll get rid of these colors and use the textures and do some stuff with it then. So there's no reason to worry about that at this moment. And we'll, oops. Actually, Control L gets all those. Those are linked. Columns, assign. Okay, so now we got a little bit of stuff on there. I'm kind of thinking, as I'm doing this, I'm kind of thinking of what is going to be, what type of texture I'm going to be putting on there and where the separation of the different textures are going to be. So as I do this, that's kind of the idea behind what I'm selecting. Like here, if I go around all these sections here, then we are talking about, okay, yeah, I'm just wondering if it's faster to catch some of these with the loop and then fix them up afterwards. So if I take these, for the most part, they're walls, outer walls, that's what I should call it, outer walls, lower level, no, we'll see. By doing this, it's actually going to help me with separating some of the things in my own mind when I'm working on stuff, especially when I start doing the inside of the building. This is going to be a lot easier to spot what's part of the inside and outside and what have you. So let's take those, add another texture, and we'll put new, and this is going to be outer walls. And for now, I'm going to turn those color blue. Sign, just so we get some difference here. Walls, a sign. You can start to see some shape up there of what I'm going to do with it. Okay. Yeah, this is all good. Okay, so also I killed my I did kill my windows. We'll call those windows, assign. We'll get some other things around that in a minute, but I just don't want to lose where the windows are. This will be outer walls, assign. I think this one and this one also. Did I do some 3D stuff on that? No, that is the outer side. Okay. Yeah. Okay, so that's just a few different pieces here. Got some more window panes around these windows. So light them up. Don't worry, we're going to clean up a lot of these different sides of each one of these objects and all the different squares I'm clicking. You know, all the different faces I'm clicking on right now. There's going to be a lot of cleanup on that, so just bear with me. We'll get to it. And now I keep on turning it, rotating it, getting it to where I need it to be to see this stuff. So there's little spots there. I guess I could have got it with a different tool. And we have these. And by the time I've got it done, I'll have all the window panes here selected. I know I could have done it with the tool and then got rid of the other stuff that wasn't. Stuff we do as an artist, right? I'll admit there's a lot better people at this than me, but I want to show you that even somebody like me, who is a hardcore coder, can even create things, create 3D stores and create 3D buildings and drop them right into WalkTheWeb and create what we need it to do. So that's kind of what the demo's really about more than anything else, is just showing you that even someone like me who hasn't had all that much experience with Blender and different things, I've done some things, don't get me wrong. I'm a novice, and I'm working on my skills. Hello, how are you today? And this is going to be a pretty cool building by the time I'm done. It'll have nice big display window in the front, and it'll have all these other pieces here. Okay, so window planes, a sign. That pretty much lit up all the areas of the window pane. Okay. Did I get all the edges? No, I didn't. Okay, so we got that one there. Oh, it moved on me. And that one. Got to get it from all angles. Try to get all the pieces. And it looks like I already got the underside of that one. So I'll make those window panes. This is just all steps that we have to do in the long run anyway, so getting them done sooner or later is not a problem. Oops, I missed one green square. See, that's why I made it green. It's pretty obvious when you miss a square, right? So by doing high contrast, it kind of gives me a chance to make sure that I'm getting each piece the way it needs to be. And we'll start working on this side here. This doesn't have to be done just yet. We've got a lot of work to do on this, but it does help, especially on more complex designs. This method kind of helps you get the pieces in place so you can see the various other sides of things and make sure everything gets selected, and you know. But it helps determine when you're looking at it. Kind of gives you a different idea of which pieces to work with and get it on there. And we're almost there. Just selecting all the various pieces. I know there's some other shortcuts to selecting things and stuff, and I've done a few of them already. You've seen when I hold down Control and grab things in different areas. There's all kinds of little tricks to box selection, circle tools, and stuff, and they're all good. They're all good. I'm not against any of them. I guess when I get on a roll and I start doing something, I just continue until it's done. It's the coder in me. It's persistence more than it's smarts, right? No. Don't know a coder yet that codes something and it works first try. You always have to fine tune and make it work, right? So we get all these pieces in here. Okay, how'd I do? And those are selected, yes. Window panes, assign. That's from underneath. How's it from the top view? And of course we didn't get those yet. You made some in Blender 3. Cool. Very cool. I haven't loaded Blender 3 yet. Let me see the picture. Did you make the icon? Is that what you made? Okay, let's see. Cool. Cool, that's very good, yeah. Yep, very, very cool. It's good you're creating some things there, and that's very cool. You got Blender 3, huh? Okay. I'll have to look for the update because I'm still running Blender 2.8 right here, 2.82. I'll have to check for the update, see what I can do on that. But in the meantime, we'll keep on plugging away at this. Okay, that's another window pane. Then we already know these are going to be windows. Windows assigned. There we go. You can see inside now. And let me do that on this side too. And set those as windows. I don't have to have all this stuff done right now, but it does help to separate some of the stuff I'm working on to make sure I don't miss something or need some areas there around it or whatever. So yeah, so it helps. Okay, that kind of separates a few of the pieces that we're working with. That one is at the outer side. Yeah, okay. I want to leave that right where it's at. It's going to be useful to us, and we'll do some more of that stuff later on. Okay, the next part is I need to start putting together what's inside this, but before we do, I'm going to say save, file, export to Babylon, and all I have to do is say export. I come into here and I'm editing the building. Actually, I don't even have to edit building. Just go into media library. These tools, storefront feature, that's the name of my place I'm currently working on. We will find, it's remember my folder even, yay. And open will automatically update it here. All I have to do is clear the browsing cache, because if you don't end up with your latest building. And refresh the page. And now you can see we got all the latest colors built into it. There we go. And you can start to see where the difference between the ground is, and the walls and the sides and the window frames. And of course the window panes we did. And we got a back wall here. There's windows on it. Okay. So just a little tour around the building real quick. Yeah, and the lighting. It all depends on how the lighting hits things in here. So the front building, we've got some pretty good. I like the panes of glass on that. We're going to do some things when we do the inside that'll take care of that piece. We're gonna start working on the inside. We'll get back to the outside. We're not done with it. In fact, this is not the colors it's going to be. This is not. We're going to put some textures on it eventually. But right now, the next piece that we want to do is, oh yeah, by the way, I want to try the steps. So let's walk over here. And if I come over here, I can walk right up the steps now. See, I know it works really smooth. So our little ramp idea on that made it nice and easy to go up inside. Okay, so that's good. Oh, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put some doors on this. Okay, so let's pick a spot here. Let's come in. Tab to get us back into this design mode. Nice, thank you. Okay, the next thing we're going to do, doors. We need a door. And notice that when I walked up on this thing, I gave it a lot of room. Notice how his height is basically about halfway between the second pane here when he gets on the top of the steps. So he's basically about this high. So with that in mind, I have a lot of room up here to make this the header above the door. And that was kind of my intention when I did it. So anything above here would be the header of the door, and then this will be the door space. One of the pieces I am going to do is these are inside the floor here, and I'm going to highlight a few of these in here. And the reason is I don't want to accidentally click on those when I'm working on this door. So to do that, I'm going to highlight these floor pieces and then click H, and now they're hidden. So they're still there, and if I hit Alt H, they'll come back. But it's a good way to get them out of the way. I don't accidentally see them or move them when I'm trying to do this other part. The other thing is if I click that, Control L to click all linked, and I'm going to put H hide on that. And is there anything else that might be in my way? No, so far we're good. Okay, so what that did was it allows me to not click on things that are behind the piece I'm working on. If any of this other stuff is distracting, this is kind of cool. You can take a whole chunk of this like this, whatever you want to do. You could take, let me just, for all that matters, we're working in this area right now, and as you can see, I can highlight things, hide them, and get them out of my way. I know I could have gone to a different mode. It would have selected all the objects through objects. Okay, so now I'm only working in this section here. The other piece is, notice I don't need this back wall because that would, if I select anything from here, I'll be in trouble too. So I'm going to just say hide, and just get the things out of my way. Okay, now when I'm working in here, now I can see the door, I can see where I'm working from, and you know what, I don't need any of this it's just a matter of hiding unnecessary things when you don't need them. I could have done that in like less steps if I would have just switched to a different mode. But now, see, I've trimmed down to what I'm working on. I'm not going to get confused if I switch to this mode, wireframe mode. I can see I'm only working with the pieces that are right here. So it makes it a lot nicer to be able to go over here and get what I need. I can spin things around without seeing the dots that are behind things. There's some pieces like here that are there, but then there's pieces down there. I need to see what that one is. Let's find out what that one is. This one down here is... what is it? Is it this one? No. That's part of that. Oh, okay. Okay. We're going to clean this up a little bit. I don't like putting spots over other spots. We have some angle pieces. All that stuff's going to get cleaned up by the time I'm done, so I'm not too concerned with it at the moment. Yeah, trust me. That's all going to change by the time I'm done. I'll end up cleaning up this whole area. Okay, for now, what I need is I need from here to here, from there to there, and I need it to be a face so that I have a surface that I'm working from in the doorway. Now the next part is we need a door frame or door jamb. So let's take these sides and grab the whole door frame. Okay, see, I've got that piece on top. Let's fix that too while I'm over here. Switch back to this mode. From here to here, we're going to put a face on that. And now we'll check all the normals on the faces afterwards, so I'm not worried. Oh, one of these loose points sitting in here. Okay, let me get rid of these. I don't want all these extra points floating around. See, that's where if I would have used the other stuff, I could have gotten it all in here at the same time. So there's some more floating around over here. Other points are just confusing. Okay, so I have that, and what I want to do is I want to get the door frame, and I'm going to start by, I need to extend this backwards, so that's exactly what I'm going to do. We're going to take that, we're going to extrude in the Y direction, Y -1. Now we have a little bit of a door frame to work with. I could have done 2, I don't know. It's a pretty grand door and grand entrance and stuff. The walls will be fine at that width. Yeah, it could go a little farther. Hey, how's it going? Hey, Owen. Yeah, I'm working on a building. As you can see, I've hidden most of it. See, watch this. Alt-H. Yep, well, let's see if I click on the right place. Alt-H puts it all back into place, and I can Control-Z to get it back out of the way. So that's what I'm working on right now, getting the door in place. I just did another step here, and I think I'm going to move that to having some dinner. Yeah, over here it's only 11:30 a.m., so I've got some more time. But we're going to make a door and put it on the building. So this stuff here is 16.8. I'm going to make it 15.8. Oops, wrong. Also, I do the right one. Y value, 45. We're going to make it 44. Extend that back just a little farther. Makes the walls a little thicker in the front of the building because we've got like cement walls and stuff. Jeez. Come on. Come on. Hey, what? Okay, so we have the door frame, and the first thing I'm going to do is we need to make a door. What kind of door do we want to do? We're going to need a door jamb up here, so I'm going to we're going to use some of these spots that are already here. Nah. Okay, so we want, what I'm going to do, take these two, edge, subdivide, make that two different spots there. I know, I got my mug sitting right over here, so I've been bouncing back and forth between what you can see and what you can't. Notice that I have this one spot up here, and the height is 27. So I'm going to take this one and move it up to 27 also. And then I'll take this line, which is at 25.5, and we're going to extend this one up to that height. And now it gives us this space right here, and I'm going to take this area, delete it, and faces only. I want the posts, but I don't want the others. I'm going to do that, make it a face. That's probably going to be facing the wrong direction, I'm sure, but we'll fix that afterwards. Put a face there, and then the front face, and what we end up with is the door jamb above the door. Now, okay, that's looking pretty good. I'm going to now, I like working with some pieces that are all the same size, so I'm going to take these right here, and I'm going to dissolve faces, make it all one, just so I know what I'm working with here, and just so that I don't get any point issues with these, I'm going to do the same right here. Dissolve faces, and then I'm going to get these extra points here, and I'm going to move them right out of the way. I'll decide where I want points to be afterwards. Oops. Helps if I say at last. Okay, and get these points out of the way over here. There's a method to my madness. I think I spelled crisis wrong. Okay. Okay, next piece is I'm going to take this one, right there, this one, that one, and that one, and edge subdivide, and we'll make that two subdivisions, and then I'm going to get this one and this one, mesh, snap, cursor to selected, and scale in the Y direction, which moves it outward from where I'm at, and I'm going to make a thicker door, so it's going to be somewhere around that thick. You can see where I'm heading with this now. Okay, that's going to be the outer edges of the door. Yeah, you can spell crisis. Okay, so taking this piece, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to... What's that? Oh, okay. And I'm going to grab that, put a face on it, and then I'm going to go around to the back side of that and get the next points over. And let's see. Oh, you joined Discord. Oh, cool. Cool deal. Thanks for joining Discord. I'm glad you did. Oops. I know, I gotta click on the window that I'm working with so I can do this. There we go. We got a face on the back side of the door. Now, the next part is, of course, for a building like this, we need some different panels on the door or something to kind of make it match the idea that we have behind the door. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take this door that I just created. I'm going to take the points here, and this is actually going to be a different object by the time I'm done here. So let's see, did I grab those 4 points? Yes, I did. Okay, and this is, yeah, cool. Thank you, Eva. I appreciate that. Okay, so we have this door, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to say mesh, and I'm going to say separate by selection. And what that allows us to do is take it as a separate object right here, and I can rename that door. I'll call it right door. That'll make it easy to tell between this side and the other side whenever I'm working on it. And now also, when I go back to the building and I do this, I can unhide everything, because now when I'm working on the door, I'm not working on anything but the door. That kind of helps. The other piece is, I did a couple changes over here, and I just kind of want to make the sides match. So let me do it quick. I can mirror it over and do it that way, or I can just take these real quick. There, and I went to the top, and I went add a piece between. That ain't it. That's it. I believe those are the 4 corners that I wanted. Kind of looks like it to me. Face. Take this. Oops. There we go. And extrude in the Y direction, -2. And now this side kind of matches the little bit of changes I made on the other side. That's where the door's gonna go. I made that piece up here. Yeah, I better do that real quick too. So let's see, we have this piece, which is at 27. We have this one. Oops, I missed it all together. This one and this one, which are my door frames. Now I can see why I hid so much when I was doing the other side, to make sure I didn't click the wrong thing. Edge. Subdivide, make it 2, and what we have is this one will be at 27 or 25.5. No, that one's going to be at 27, which is the top one, and this other one that we just created, if I can find it now, there it is going to be at 25.5. And now between those, I can take this and there you go. There, those 2 parts there. Delete the faces only. Then, using those 4 points, we're going to create the box around the door jamb. This is kind of the top piece. And then these 2, and where did it go? Can I see it? That's it. Okay. So now we have the door jamb up above where the door is going to go. Save that. And we'll put a piece of glass up there afterwards. That's not too much of a concern at the moment. But I do want to build the door. So first thing I'm going to do is switch what I'm working on. We can hide the building. Now see, we get it all in one piece now that I've separated those 2 pieces. And we have the door, and I can edit the door. Okay, so now this makes it a lot easier to work with. We have a separate piece. I'm going to do some loop cuts in here, and we're going to make it, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. I'm going to go with 6. Okay, we have this piece here. Then we're going to get into an area. I kind of have a plan. We'll take this one and this one. Set the cursor between it. Snap cursor to selected. Notice I do have the cursor selected tool here on the pivot, so that's where I'm rotating and scaling everything from. Just a quick note. So now if I take this and I scale only in the Z direction, now I can pull those closer, and I'm actually making what will turn out to be one of the window panes in the door. So we're going to kind of match the style of the front building, having all those window panes, and the side doors or windows having the window panes and everything else. We're going to match it on the door itself. So I want to take this and let's see, 0.10, 109. I don't know. I'm just kind of getting an idea. Let's see if I say 0.09. That looks like a good distance to me, because we're going to do that again right here. So I wanted to kind of get an idea. Mesh, snap, cursor to selected, and scale Z direction. And notice when I bring them down, it's going to be 0.09. Then those two are the exact same size. Kind of makes it easy to work with. We're going to have some side panes on this, so we need loop cuts going this way. There's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4. So 4 loop cuts. And the side ones here, oops, this one and this one, I'm going to scale this in the X direction. Scale X and bring them out so that they're the edges of the door. Kind of give it a little bit more room here. That's about right. And then I'm going to take this one and scale X on those and bring them in to kind of match the size. Yeah, the numbering system is nowhere near what we did the other one. Let me get in closer so I can see it. We want to make these two about the same width as from that to that. So scale X, bring them in, and let me see, as long as it's close. I was doing the other ones and I wanted both of them to be the same, so that's why I measured them. But in this case, I think we're pretty good. That kind of feels like a square to me. Okay, right about there, that works. And now we have the window panes to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That kind of looks wider there than it is here, which it probably is. So if I bring those in, GZ, and bring it down just a little bit, I'm going to go -0.2, and then I'm going to grab both of these and go GZ 0.2, and that balanced it out a little bit better, close enough for this. Okay, you know what, I didn't leave enough room for a door handle, so let's take these, scale X, and give it just a little bit more room so that we have enough room to put a door handle in here. Okay, now that I have all that, I'm going to take, first thing I'm going to make sure is I'm only looking at one side at a time, because that can really get it confusing. Take these. There's 2 ways to do this. And the idea is when I do this, it's going to actually cause a little bit of trouble, and then I'm going to fix it. So just letting you know in advance, it is going to have a second piece here. So what I want to do actually is select all of these, and I'm going to select all these too. so that I'm getting all the pieces that are going to be part of the center window. First of all, the pane doesn't go to the outside of the door edge, so I'm going to sink those in. And to do that, I'm going to first make sure my cursor's in a good position for it, and scale the, well, what is it, Y, scale Y, and I'm going to shrink that in, oh, wait, E, enter, now scale Y, that leaves the edges alone and lets me shrink this piece without, now if I go too far, notice I start seeing the other side, so this needs to be about that far so that it is in 3D, and then what I'll do is I need just the window panes. And I'm going to do the same thing where I hit E, hit enter, so it extrudes it but doesn't actually move it, and then scale in the Y direction. And now I can bring these window panes in, and notice how they make a nice little window pane where there's actually a piece sticking out. So we do have this little extra edge there. We can take these pieces and make them windows, assign. And if I switch to material view, you're going to be able to see it. And then I'm also going to select, well, here's the deal. I made these two window panes, but because the window pane, the door, well, first of all, the door is pretty thick. I could shrink that, but it's okay. Because of it, there's a gap between the window pane and the door. So this isn't solid, and these aren't solid all the way through the window panes holding in each one of them. So the next piece I really have to do is I got to do some repair work here. And I think the wireframe might be the easiest to work with. And I know working with this, it's going to be a little tricky, but okay, the idea is this. There is a gap between here and here where it's not all connected, but notice that the walls are actually from here to here, so there really isn't a reason, now that we have these window panes in place and the windows go there, we really don't need some of this dynamic here. For example, this and this are meaningless points because there is, well, there could be a window pane on the inside edge there. Actually, that does kind of make sense to do. Okay, let me switch back to a solid view so I know what I'm working with here. Kind of creating this as I go, so bear with me. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this wall, this one, might as well take advantage of some of the pieces we have here and take these. Gotta run. Okay, hey, thanks for watching. Appreciate it. I assumed that. I didn't even make fun of it. Okay, and on the back side, we're going to match that same thing and do it here too. And then from there, we can do this, which is extrude. Well, I could make it all one. Okay. I know I'm talking too much. Extrude, enter, and then scale in the X direction and bring that out here. So what it's done is it's created the window pane up against those edges over here. And I'm going to do the same for what's left of this one. And just kind of fulfills the whole door, the window pane idea. Kind of makes it nice and clean and looks nice, you know. It'll make the white on the door stand out from whatever I decide as the rest of the door color. And it completely goes around all the glass then. So we have those pieces there. And now from a straight on view, my scales, oops, I need to extrude first, enter, and then scale Z and bring that down to about, notice that it's overlapping. We're going to fix all that shortly here, so don't stress that piece. Bring it about that far, and now we have complete door frames within our door frame. Okay, so let's start some cleanup here. Like I said, we've got a couple issues that we have to address. And one of them is we have all the points in the right place, which is the good part. The other part is we have overlapping things like this, which we're not going to do. So we're going to clean up some of the points that have that happening on it. We're gonna fix a lot of stuff here. So then we're going to also take and fix some other pieces as we go. So, for starters, notice they both overlap that spot, but neither one of them hit that spot. Okay, so we need this one to go and this one to meet at that place. There's... Okay, so if this one is at that height, and I grab this piece and I move it to that height. Trust me, I know what I'm doing. This one also at that height. And we can do it on the other side too. And this one at that height. And then we have, that's those four pieces. Now we need this on the, what am I looking at? I'm looking at, see, I can do this from a different angle here. Okay, so this one from the X direction, I just copy the X value, and then I can take this one and move it to that same X value. I guess I could have done these 4 points at a time. Watch, if I take these 2 points, change just the X value, and they're on those same points. Now, when I go back to this, notice the solid, it's going on an angle instead of overlapping some frame, forms and stuff like that. Okay, next, what do we have here? So we're going to do that in the four corners first, because we do have to fix all four of those. Actually, yeah, okay, that's fine. Need to get the four corners, and we'll start by, we can do this height, which is here. So by copying one value of one and then moving all these other values to that same spot, kind of makes it a little bit of editing. See, I brought them all down to that. Now this, the X value, and then I'm going to take 1, 2, 3, 4 points, change the X value to that. Now they're each bringing it to the corner. Let's do it on the bottom corner. We'll get to those middle sections afterwards. Okay, so starting with the, well, start with the X value. Doesn't matter which one you really start with. Take all four of these points, change it to the X value there, and they're in the right place. So now the Z value is this, and we're going to take that, and that, and raise them to that same Z value. There we go. Okay, and we already copied the Z value because they're the same on both sides. Go up to there. Take the X value, copy that, and take these 4 points. Change our X value to there. Okay, so we cleaned up that. Hey, just letting you know I have to go because the stream is buffering. Oh, okay. You're getting your new network. That's very cool. That's cool. Get you up to some new 5G internet. Nice. Awesome. Okay, have a good one. I'll see you on Discord. I'll catch you up with you over there later on. Okay, so we've cleaned up a couple of those points. Let's take a look at these middle ones. Is there anything I need to clean up? There's no real overlap going on there. Okay. First of all, okay, let's start getting rid of some things we don't need because we already know there's too much here. Is this a face? Yes. Only a mother could love. Okay, so these are faces on the inside between these 2 points, so we really don't need them. So I'm going to delete the faces only. That gets rid of them out from in between stuff. And then I'm going to show you a trick here. We have this point, and this point. And I'm going to say Alt at last. This one, this one, this one. And now it creates this solid block in between the panes. I'll do the same thing for down here if I can get my eyes wrapped around which piece I need to grab. I'm going to do it from an angle here because get it at the right angle and it makes perfect sense. So this point, right? Oh, there's 2 points there. Let's grab both points just to be safe for now. And Alt-M at last, and then, okay, there. Oops. It's this one, that one, and that one. Alt-M at last. And see, what I'm actually doing is I am taking and filling that centerpiece between the different panes. Because what happens is this, when you look solid, let's look in the material preview, that'll show our transparency. See, we have to fill in between the, oh wait, I just screwed that up. No wonder, that's why I didn't want to do that way. I forgot. And I can tell you what I did. I just collapsed the 2 windows up against each other. That isn't the best way to do it. Let's pick another way. Okay, so we have these 2 pieces here. We don't want to move the points because the points are there, and the points are good. So we're not, you know what, the first thing I'm going to do that's going to make this so much easier. So I back out, select this, select the window panes. I'm going to get them out of the way because I don't need them right now. So I'm going to just push H for hide, and there's some on the back side, so we'll grab all those. And I'm going to say H for hiding. Okay, so now when I do this, I can look at the different pieces without grabbing those. Okay, so here we go. I can fix this. First things first, you see there's a couple things here. First one is we have this piece, which is a face on this side, a face on this side, and then there's this gap that we can see through when we look in through the window. We want to close that gap, so what I'm going to do, I could just say, okay, put in a face between there, but technically, instead of having 3 faces right there, I can make it 1 just by doing this, by taking the pieces that are on the edge, which is this one and this one, delete faces only, and then come back in here and put, well, let's see, we can even grab the edges there. We don't need those 2 edges either. Delete edges and faces. Okay, so then we grab from here to there, which is all the way across that section, all in one piece, nice and neat, from there to there, and we put 1 face. So effectively same thing, but it keeps the face count down because we only did 1 face for that direction. And we're going to do that on all these various pieces. So we'll come in here. Is there a face that? Yes, there is. I'm going to do that one, and that one. Delete edges and faces. They're gone. And from the points, we'll go here to here, and there to there. F for face, and we got a new face on there. We'll make this all work by getting rid of this edge. Okay, hang on. There's one more thing I'm going to do. Because I combined some points or put them in the same place, but I didn't actually merge them, I'm going to select all the points, and then I'm going to say mesh, clean up, and merge by distance, and notice 16 points are now merged. That will kind of make our life easier as we do this too, because we won't be selecting multiple edges in here or multiple faces on the bottom piece or whatever. So multiple points, you know, it gets it all in the same place. So delete edges and faces, then we take the points and we go from here to there, there to there, and now we have the face there. Now back up just a fraction of an inch and do the whole thing again. We have this one. See, the faces don't have a problem intersecting each other when there's no points that are needed to make the intersection go through. So that's the reason I'm doing this, is because there's no reason for the extra faces. There's some times where it may be needed, but in this case, that's not one of them. So we'll do it that way. Scroll down and do it again. I know, the other thing I could have done, speaking of intercepting lines, I am doing this the wrong way. I know, I keep changing what I'm doing too. Okay, watch this. If I take this face, and this face, delete, and I'm going to say faces only. I don't really want to get rid of all the points. Okay, take that one from there to there. Get the right point. There to there. And go to that one from there to there. Should be the right points. Make sure I'm inside the windowsill. Inside the windowsill. And do one face all the way across the whole thing. That's the smarter way to do it. Okay, didn't take long. Faces only. I know, I just created this little line right there. I know, I don't have to clean up every one of those. They'll disappear in the whole design anyway. But when I do, I do. Okay, and the last piece down here is get rid of that line and that line. Edges and faces, and of course on the very bottom of this piece, I'm going to get rid of that one and that one. Edges and faces. I know I got rid of the bottom pieces, but don't worry about that just yet. Then we will go from here to there, and at the top of the window we're going from there to there, and put a face on it. There we go, that one looks good. Any more from this angle? Nope, we got two more coming from the other angle. Okay, so reverse the direction here and do the same thing. We'll get rid of this, that, and I gotta keep my eyes on the right places here. There, and there. Delete edges and faces only. Once you have the points, then everything else is just about using those points in the most efficient way to get the faces, as few faces as you can, to accomplish what you want to create. So it's kind of like just minimizing the number of faces or planes to build a really good object of whatever you're trying to build. So by doing this, delete edges and faces. Now go to points, and we'll start by doing this side. Go there to there, scoot upward, and go there to there. Does that look right? Yes. Face, and then we're going to go there to there, downward, there, and there. Face. Okay, so that looks pretty good for verticals, and now close it off with the horizontals by going there to there, and there to there. Look just a little bit over, and do this one, there to there to there. I know I keep saying there to there. You guys got that part down, right? I know, make fun of the thing I'm saying, right? Okay. Grab these points. I mean, how many ways can I make up saying there to there? Grab the 4 points and create a face. And on this one, it goes from the inside of this piece, so I think we're good. Before I create the face, I'm going to make sure I didn't grab the outer points. Yep, I got it. Okay, so that gives us the inside of the window panes of the door and all the various pieces in place. That looks pretty good. We can clean up a little bit more here. Yeah, without overlapping lines or anything like that. Yeah, the other cleanup I can do is this. If I take these, oh, that one goes all the way down. That's interesting. Let's start here. Let's do what cleanup we can. So I'll grab those 2 points, delete edges and faces. Notice that we still have this line item going all the way down, which means that it's going to intersect edges and faces. I don't want... Okay, these 2 are inside my door. I don't need them. And it doesn't look like I need that one. Oops. If I can grab the pieces that I'm aiming at. No, that's just making sure I don't hit any of those. Okay, so we'll get them from the other side when we go over there. See, these are going all the way down. Those are my windows. Okay, make sure I didn't delete all my windows. Yep, I think I just did. Did I delete all my windows? If I did, I can put them back. Yeah, it appears, because when I go Alt-H, they're not coming back. Okay, I've deleted my windows. Okay, well, now I don't have to worry about them. I'm not going to worry about them. Okay, so delete and faces only. I'm not going to delete the edges and faces. Trust me, there's a reason to this madness right here. Okay, so I've cleared out. Yeah, let's clear out the rest of that. So this. Okay, I've cleared out the see-through things from there because what we need to do is I need to create one nice one from here to here. face on that. We got the one on the bottom of that. And then we're going to put one face across here. Put the face on that. And now the other part is I want to be able to put one face down through here. See, the reason I'm fixing this, and you may have not noticed when I started this section, but what happens is this plane goes across here like this, but there was another one going over this direction, and this little square right here had two surfaces that were on the exact same height. Now there's two things you can do. You can either take that and extrude it and actually lower it to a different height so that the two things are sitting actually not at the exact same height, or you can do what I did, which is keep the points intact right where they are so you know where your points are going to be, but at the same time you can actually take and recreate what you want, which is the outer edge only from here to here, and put a face on that. So now this doesn't go all the way to this top piece up here. It only goes the section in between the pieces, and I'm going to make the crossbars go all the way across side to side. So that's kind of the intention of where I'm putting these pieces in place. So that ends up with this one not having a dual spot right there. See, because even this little spot here, if I come in here and I select this, that is the little square, but that also is, I think it's overlapping with these various pieces. It's possible. We're going to find out. If not, we're going to do it the way we want to do it anyway, which is take this one. See, the thing is, it goes all the way down, top to bottom, and that's why I'm cleaning this up in the first place. See, we have these pieces here, edges and faces, and they're on the back side. I can get them from here too. And when I'm done, it'll be better. Has the same design. I got the same layout, floor mat, floor plan. Everything else is in place, so it's definitely good. I'm going to only go from. We'll see the other part is, since this is inside of the actual this piece, right? Well, that's the whole piece. I'm not going to worry about it. Okay, so from what we have is from here to there, face, and from here to there, put a face on this side. Don't worry about the edge just yet. We'll get to those in a minute. And yes, it killed my side ones. Don't worry about that. I'll get that in a minute. I really need to get these pieces straight, so let's get it from another angle here where I can see what I'm doing. There and there. Delete edges. There and there. Delete edges. Okay, so that cleans out those pieces. And before I go fixing the other lines again, let's do it down here too. Edges and faces. And that's going to kill my windows, but don't worry. I'll repost the windows in a minute. I can't hit that piece if I wanted to. Okay, fine. Sometimes if you can't hit the piece, all you have to do is switch to wireframe mode. That gives you the most control over what you're hitting. Well, maybe there just isn't one there. Okay, we grab both of those. Edges and faces. Now I can grab this one and this one. Edges and faces, and eventually this one and those edges and faces. Okay. I know it killed off a lot of that because I killed the faces that it was on. Now we'll go back to the preview mode so I can see what I'm doing. First thing, get this side back in place so we can see our frame of where we're heading to. And we'll do that on the opposite side of the door. Okay, now that we have that one in place, now I can go rebuild this little section here. Okay, and that looks pretty good for that so far. And we have here to here. Oops. There. Face on that. I like doing both sides if I can do it at the same time. Face on that. Looks pretty good. And that one already has a face on it. We're good there. Okay, we have most of those in place. And now I can fix that one to that one to there. And final one. Okay, that worked out pretty good. It's ironic because, oh, that's what that other line is. Okay, I'm good. And then finally, instead of 3 upward and 3 upward on this side, we're going to fix those ones by taking this. No, so that's what I don't want to grab. Okay, let's just do it this way. Take out those faces only, and then that's not the right spot. It's not that one, it's that one. Yep. And down here it is that one and that one. There we go. Do the other side. I can get my eyes wrapped around where it's actually at. And here we have there and there. Okay, put a face on that, and we got that side. Now we'll do this other side, and that will button up those sections all together. So, okay, just knock out the faces and go back to points. There. No. Why is I'm missing a spot here? Let me fix that real quick. I'm missing the basement piece here. No. Oh, that's still there. Okay, let's fix this real quick. These faces only. Okay, and now I need here and there. Oh, I didn't take out those faces. I didn't realize I didn't. Yeah, there's an easy way. Take out this one and this one. Edges and faces. Okay, now I can get all four of those points and make that all one piece across the bottom. Do it wherever you can. There we go, and there. And face. Okay, so that fixed that piece, and now I can fix. Okay, here. Gotta wrap my brain around this. Why is that? Because that one's in the wrong place. I didn't grab the right point with that one. So if I take this and this line right there, delete edges and faces. Let's try this again. This goes from there to this one and this one. Face. Now it's in the right place. Okay. Then we can go up here to here and there. Face. And finally there to there, down to there and there. Okay, now we have a nice little door frame with our window panes in place and everything else. Okay, I think I'll clean up some more of this door here in a minute. Let me see, do we have some window panes in place? Yes, we do. We just lost all the rest. Okay, I don't even know which ones these are because I can't tell which one they're facing. And I can't tell if the opposite side, yep, they're both here. Okay, so the center two are in place. The only ones we have to replace are the top ones. Easy enough. We'll get ourselves in here a little closer. And go to points. And we're going to recreate the faces for there. You know, okay, actually, we're going to do one better. Take those, delete only faces. Take these two, delete only faces. And just like we did on the other stuff, we're going to go from there to there. And then all the way down to the bottom. There. And there. Put a face on it and make that windows for sure. And reverse the direction and do the other window piece, which is this one. That one and that one. And that's a window piece. Okay, so we have a nice door with the window on it. That's pretty good. Two things. One of them is I want to clean up a lot of this stuff on here, and then I'm going to throw a door handle on it. So let's go for cleaning up. It's time to see what we can do. And the first thing I'm going to do is anywhere it's a flat plane, I'm going to go ahead and hit delete and say dissolve faces and clean up the faces first. Like all these. Well, let's see. From the top and bottom view, yeah, I want to make this all one face. Dissolve faces. Same for this down here. Then these going up this way. Dissolve faces. See, what's happening is the face count is lowering as I go. It's 117 right now on this object, and we'll keep on chopping away at that. Make it as few faces as we can do. And so we take those, delete, dissolve faces. So now it's 111. And we just keep whittling it down. Notice it's the same design. All we're doing is changing what part constitutes a face. Dissolve faces. Okay, let's see, where else can I? I've got one more side here. These are some of the obvious ones. Faces. Get the bottom part. Okay, and then we're going to look a little closer and get a couple more here. I don't know why that still has a square behind it, because technically this piece should not have... I guess it goes all across. I'm not going to worry about those. In here, go back to this. That's all. Oh, okay. See these edges? Take those. Do it on this side too. See, just do the ones you can. I know I could highlight everything and do limited dissolve and let it try to figure out what to do, but personally I kind of like knowing exactly which pieces it's collapsing, and kind of gives me a good heads up of where I've got everything. So yeah, I'll do it myself. And okay, so now we brought that down to, what does it say, 406? Wait a minute, am I highlighting too much? Faces, 69 faces so far. Let's see if there's a couple more in the top or bottom of that piece. Yep, here's a few more. We went from 117, and so far we're already down to 69. Now we're down to 67. See, every little bit of this stuff helps. Okay, that was all one face going across there. Oh, actually, I could do that up here too. Yeah. Okay. And we end up with something like that. Looks good. And we're down to, right now we have a total of 65 faces. So we just chopped off a lot of them. We could do things like, you see this one up here, I could take this and the one on the other side and this, delete those, faces only, and make them all one solid from there to there, and face, and now we've got that face up there. Okay, so that dropped it down to 64 faces. And if I can think of some more, I'll do it. The other part about doing that is, now that we're looking at the points, notice a lot of these points do not have any use anymore. So I'm going to take these points that are kind of orphaned out here. They're not being used. They're not holding any edge of anything. And we're just going to go ahead and move them right down to the edges. And it's actually lowering the vertices. Right now there's 232. By the time I'm done, there's going to be less. No clear amount of how many I'm going to have until I know. But the idea is this. If I take this, if I go to wireframe, you can really see it. Notice how these 2 points are out here in the middle of nowhere. It created multiple lines around here, and it created this extra area. If I take these, move them down to here, any of these orphan points, move them down to the last, well, now this is all one line instead of 3 lines. So I've saved the edges at the same time that I've saved the points. So anywhere I can get away with that, where they're just straight out not needed, but just kind of orphaned out there, then it's a good thing to get rid of. Now you got to be careful, because you don't want to change ones that could be still in use. For example, are these still in use by the design? When you look at the design, notice these 2 points are here, but what's attached to it? When you go to wireframe, notice it only goes across the top going that direction. And where's that point going? Those points are only on the edges. Since our windows don't go over there anymore, I actually think we're okay with taking these over here. The other thing you can do is if you change the view to solid while you're doing it, then if you drop it over there, you'll know if it got rid of anything. So take these points and we're going to slide right down that one and drop it right to there. And see, from the solid point, we didn't hurt the design any. Those are all valid ways of doing that. And once you know that it didn't affect it any, we can take these points, go to here. They were used for the windows, and when I did the one-piece window, it kind of cleaned up a lot of those points. So, and notice, I always glance back and forth because notice there's some internal ones here that I would have missed if I didn't zoom in to see what it looked like in there. So now I've got all those cleaned up nice. Some of those are still in use over there. Those are the points for that. Okay. I'm just trying to get my mind wrapped around where some of these are. See, if the window only goes to there, what do I need this point for, is my question. Like I said, I get rid of anything that I don't need. So take this to solid. You can see everything here now. And if I delete the point vertice, I didn't see anything change in my design. I didn't lose anything from either side. That point isn't needed. It's no longer in use. It was between these two. And when I did my windows and I redid them and I moved them from the inside of the window pane, cleaned up all those points. So point cleanup. So back to wireframe, and notice there's always a mirror image of whatever one I'm working on. So this particular one here, I always go to solid so that I can see if something disappears when I do it. And I'll watch this side more than the other. Delete, vertice, nothing changed. That's a good sign. I'm going to take out that one and that one. Okay, weren't using them. That's a good sign. Okay, that's pretty good up there. We'll get back to some more of those in a few minutes. Let's get some more obvious ones. When I hold the door this direction, you can see real easy. There are ones like here. And we can take them down to that point. The reason I stop there is because the line goes off this direction. So I do not want to cross that line and drag it to another place, because that is a logical place where I may have the grain of a wooden door going this direction, then I may have it going this way across the bottom. So that's common that you see on doors. So I don't want to change the pattern of that area there. And it is one solid pane all the way across it. Okay, and bottom of the door, same thing. By the way, you're also noticing whenever I go like sweep it to the right, I'll take the ones opposite it and I'll sweep those to the right also. And the reason for my madness on doing that is because every once in a while you get lines that are crossed, and if it has some crossbar between those two hidden underneath it, if you put them both the same side, it makes it disappear. But notice even in that amount of time we went down to 192, we just got rid of almost 40 vertices that we weren't using anymore. So this kind of cleanup is good practice, at least in my opinion. I'm by no means a pro. I just watch the counts. Okay, Z, take this and make sure we're not on any points that are going to be used. Delete the vertices, and we still have a solid door And all of our pieces are still intact. That's a good sign. Now, are there any other points that aren't being used? And I think the answer is yes. If I take this and hide it, and this and hide it, now I know I don't want to move the points on the edges because those are the points for that, but notice each one of these have an additional okay, an additional vertices, so I don't need them there. And when I do that, one of the things it does is it's bending these pieces here. Because if, watch this, when I bring back the pieces, oops, what did I do? Okay, never mind, sorry. When I bring these back, they have their own edges on there. So these other edges weren't even being used. So what I want to do is I want to get rid of those wasted edges, which is part of the cleanup also. So I take both these and delete the edges only. And notice it didn't get rid of the face is because it wasn't part of that face. And that's why I knew I was safe to get rid of it. At last, grab the edges and get rid of these extra pieces in here. Okay. And I'm not merging the points up there because we do need those, but I can grab the ones from here because I know I went all the way down to the bottom. And same thing goes here. This will get rid of the extra edges. See, the points aren't even right there for these ones. So if I go in here, it's this one to here. And this one. I want to say there. It's a hard one to pin. I don't think that's going to the right place. Let's first get rid of these orphaned points. They're not needed at all, which will get rid of the edges attached to them. Okay. Also, these are not being used anywhere. Bring them all the way back up to there. See where that one's going. There to there. Let's go back to this view just to make sure I didn't break anything. So far, so good. It's worth a look every once in a while. Okay, that's not bad. Get one section at a time. This one and this one I'm going to move to there. And that'll give me these extra edges that I no longer need. Okay. And the wireframe, if I look at the points, that's when I found these guys. And there's two more on this side and go to there. As long as you stay on the straight line that they're on, you can kind of clean up a lot of that stuff. Okay. And the final part here was that I was able to clean up this because there was no reason for those points. Actually, are there still any reason for those points? I don't think there's anything attached to those points. Yes, it is. It is the piece. No, they go to here. don't think. Let me find out. Take these 4 points. We're going to find out what it does right now. Delete vertices. Did not change a thing. Oh, there, it cost me that wall, which we can replace as a hole. There were no reasons for it to be to this area. Okay, that's a doable fix. I'll just take these pieces, delete vertices, vertices, and take one from here all the way up to there and to there, all the way down to there, and we have one wall for that side and one for this side. To that corner. Here, and there we go. Now we have those pieces in place, and we got rid of some more points there. You can already see that there's 2 more points here. They can go this way. 2 more points here. They can go this way. Did I or did I not get rid of those points? Oh, did I miss 2? Okay, so take this, that. I'm going to do it around on this side. Oh, see, I did get them from one side. Okay. I just missed 2 points. We'll get rid of those. Vertices. And we still have our door intact, which is a good sign. I didn't break it. 144 vertices, so now I'm down from 232 to 144 vertices. Faces are only 50, so we cleaned those up quite a bit already. I've got a little bit more to go here, and I'll have this all cleaned up nice. Okay, I'm going to take I'll do both of these while I'm here. And then grab some faces. Well, there's a lot of ways to do things as you're doing this stuff, and the one thing I learned is that I just kind of, the way I do it, I do a lot of loop cuts, but then there's, more cleanups because I do it that direction. But it seems to work for me because I get the final result of what I want. All the points are lined up, everything's symmetrical, really true, and I get a lot of the pieces in place the way I want them to look and everything. So then I just clean up these extra points and extra lines and stuff, and I end up with a pretty decent layout and design afterwards. So I'm sure that there's a ton of videos out there of different ways to do things, and hey, I'm all for it too. Believe me, I watch videos when I get the chance. In the meantime, I'm just trying to build. So I'll do what I can and where I can, that's for sure. Okay. And I can definitely move these ones up here too. Oh, that's funny. Okay, and I left those other lines because they go back to ones behind the scenes, and I don't need it either. Delete edges and faces, they're gone. Didn't hurt my design, that's all I care. Okay, so take these points. Okay, and grab the other points. By the time I get rid of all these lines that I know that I don't need, then I'll look back through the inside of things and see if there's any other orphan points and stuff like that. But this tends to do pretty good for locating them, dropping them, getting the edges that are tied to it off the pattern. And we end up with a pretty clean door design by the time we're done. Okay, those look really good. And finally, we'll come down here. Okay, well, also while we're here, take those to there, and these ones to there. We're going to do this to the whole building at some point in time, by the way. So by the time everything's in place and done, all these various pieces are... Wait a minute. Undo that one. That is not what I want to do. I can do this one. But those inside edges are the ones that the windows are actually attached to. Okay, so take those, delete edges and faces, and these ones, delete edges and faces, and unhide those. Yep, I still have my windows. I didn't mess with those pieces in there, which is good. Now I'll undo those again for another minute. Okay, looks pretty clean from here. Let's see how it looks on the inside. Let's go to points. And this is where I start to notice if there's any extra points that just aren't being used. For example, these little ones down in here. There's something going on here. Let's take a closer look. See if I can get it on the right angle. And notice the first thing is these points here are orphaned. If they're orphaned, I don't have anything that doesn't have two sides or something like that. So chances are they're not in use, and I can delete those vertices. And I have a feeling that these ones are also in that same boat because they are part of the inside of the wall. Okay, we have a couple points here we can get rid of. Okay. Get them when you see them, right? Okay, let's see what else we have here. I did one side, so let's check the other side now. And once again, we have some orphan points. Delete those vertices, and I know that these two were not being used by that section either. So we can take that out. We'll confirm it. Yep, door looks good. There's no missing walls, no missing edges. Okay, that looks good to me. And let's go back to wireframe one more time. That looks a lot better in that section. And we got a couple orphan ones up here. We'll get rid of that. And over here, there's a couple orphan ones. And we get rid of those vertices. Everything is looking really good now. Are these center points in use? Yes, they are. They're the edges of this face. So those are all in place. There's a line right there where there's no line like that for any of the other sides. So I'm guessing that is not used. And you see this? There's a spot right there. And a spot right there. Okay, I've got a point that's not moved. Oh, I see what's going on. Okay, down here there's 2 points here and 2 points here that are not part of the design anymore. So get rid of both of those and that looks a lot cleaner. Okay. There's 2 points there. That's very clean. How's this side doing? That's very clean. I look for extra points. Everywhere that I'm looking, I'm actually looking for where the points are and if they have purpose with where they are. I don't like these ones here are gonna, the ones in the middle, these are the ones that hold the 2 window panes. So there's one in each corner, and everything else should be nice and clean here. Okay, everything looks good, everything looks clean. Now we have a door that is worthy of putting on our building. Just to do it, oh, let me hide those once again for a minute. Okay. Okay, so let me get the window panes while I'm in here. Let's get each one of these edges. Notice how easy they're grabbing now. Because they go multiple distances. Every time you grab one, you're actually grabbing something that goes farther down than itself. So it makes it a little bit easier to get all the pieces. And that should... That's not bad. Okay, let's get the underside of this one and this one. Get them all from this side. Yes, I did. And now from this side, match up the other pieces that complete the path. Well, that's funny because I don't think those little squares are needed right there. Okay, so let's put that on window panes, assign, and now they're in place. Also, this edge. Okay, let's get the door. Somewhere around there, and there we go. We're going to create a new material and just call this door, just so we have our door piece and we'll know what it is. We'll flip it out to some other color for now. Don't worry about any of these colors just because they are going to change. Front door is what we'll call that one, in case we have another door. For now, let's make it, I don't know, what other colors do we have in that area? Okay, we're going to make a pink door for now, just to do it. Just so that it's obvious what we're dealing with and where it's at. And then we covered all the colors. Okay, I didn't put a door handle on it yet, but I want to show you something. There's another piece that we can do here that's going to be kind of cool. So I kind of want to do it before I do too much other stuff. Okay, so we have a door. I'm going to take that door, and first thing I'll do is mesh, snap, actually not snap. Since I got this, that's what's wrong. I'm editing the door. Okay, I've got the door, I've selected it, and if I go Object, Apply, All Transformations, that's an important step here. Same thing for this building. You should always have all your Apply, All Transformations, so that it's always 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0 on the transformations. Okay, now we have this door. I'm going to set the cursor, snap, cursor to world origin. Oh, you know what? One more thing I'm going to do before I do this. I'm going to take this door. We're going to zoom in. We'll turn off the building so we don't have to see it. Let's check our faces and just make sure we're showing them all in the right directions. Now look here. We got a whole side of the door that not a lot sticking out. Okay, so I'm going to shorten them just because I don't want them coming through the other side and then we don't know which side they're actually coming from. Because if it's facing inward, guess what? It shows up on the other side of the police, the different thing. Okay, so starting with, we're going to select any face that is not showing the right direction. Doesn't look like that. Okay, I'm almost done for today also. Okay, so each one of those faces are definitely not showing the right direction. And I'm going to say mesh normals, flip. Now they are showing outward on each one of those. We have some others here that are going to be really hard to see. So we'll highlight them this way and make sure. Okay, this one, for example, is that one right there, and it appears that it is. Well, I can shorten the things again to tell if another one's going through it or not. Yep, see? When you shorten them that far, you can really tell which one's which. Okay, that's facing downward like it should. This one is facing the wrong way. Sometimes it's easier to see them this way. This one, I think these ones are all facing wrong. When they're wrong, basically you go in the scene and all of a sudden you can see right through it. The face isn't there. So you'll know right away when you're looking at them if they're backwards or if they're working. Oh, that one was, one of the top was working, wasn't it? I don't want to select that one. Okay, the rest of these appear to, oh, that one looks okay. And that one isn't. I could have checked these as I was going. Probably would have been smart. Okay, mesh. Normals. Flip. This thing just changed. So I think this one... I was watching that one as we did this. Okay, it looks like they're all facing outward there. Let's see about this one. Oops. Clicked the wrong button. Missed it by one. Wireframe. It's facing inward, okay. This one is facing inward. Nope, I clicked the wrong one. I need this face. That one's facing inward. Okay, so we're good there. So far it appears to be in pretty decent shape. What is... There's an extra line right there, and I don't see what it's part of. Oh, it could be part... Oh, I know what it is. Those are the windows. Windows are facing outward. Okay, so that's a good sign. These top ones are all facing... wrong direction. Here, here, and here. Almost flip. Okay, now they're all facing outward. Yeah. And that's facing outward. This one is facing down and that one's facing up. There's two wrong ones. Flip. Now they're facing out opposite each other. Let's see if we got a couple more here. Those are facing outward. That one is facing inward. There's a problem there. That's upward. We're good. That is upward. That one is that way. Okay, that one's that way. That's the bottom of the door. I think we got it. I am pretty certain all this is good. Nope, that one's facing the wrong way. I don't want to duplicate a door if I've already got these all messed up, because then I have to do it twice. So the reason I'm checking all these things is to make sure that I don't have to do it twice. That one is what? Where is that? Oh, it's facing outward. Okay, good. And over here, just make sure this is outward. That's outward. That one is that face. That one's that one face. That one's going that way. Okay, looks like we're in good shape. If we miss one, we can always clean them up later. It's not a do or die situation here, but getting the most of them right is definitely an advantage, especially at this earlier stage, especially since I got to flip them. I'll have to fix them in 2 places. So Z material preview. Okay, we've got a door. File save. And in a later date, I'm going to show you how we're going to take the door and we're actually going to make it work in WalkTheWeb. So we're going to do some things with that, but I'm not going to do it just yet because we got a couple more things I have to do first. We'll throw a door handle on it and stuff in the next time we get together. But for now, we put a door in here. We made some ramps that work up on this side. We started texturing things just to kind of separate them between materials so we know which items are going to get what. By the way, one thing, like even when I'm dealing with the door here, the other thing I can do is we already know it doesn't have outer walls on the door. It's, as long as you're highlighting just the one item. Oh, we don't want to remove any materials that we're using. Hold on. Let me get just the right door, and that's the only piece I'm editing. And now there are no outer walls on the right door, so we can take that off. Nope. Oh, sorry. I'm in slot mode. Okay, so we know that this doesn't have that. We know that there's no columns in the door. We don't have a transparent anything in there. And we don't have the regular defaced material. So that takes care of the door. Now it only has the windows, the panes, and the front door look, whatever the door is going to be when we're done. For now, it looks kind of cartoony, but don't worry. When we throw the textures on and start going with wood colors and, all kinds of different metallic for certain things or whatever else pieces we decide to do, then we'll take care of that at that time. Right now, I just wanted to see a high contrast, almost like you're playing with blocks, just so I could see the difference between my door and my walls and my ceilings and my floors. That'll come in handy as we work on the next part, which is going to be putting the inside in the building. So the last part of this, just so you can see me do it, we have the right door. And if I say object, and we can do duplicate object, just hit enter so that it stays in the exact same place that it was. Now it's still selected, and I'm going to say object, mirror, and I'm going to say X global, which throws it over onto this spot. Now we have a left door and a right door. So we'll rename that. And the one thing I'm going to show you is when you mirror image, it also mirrors every one of the faces. So notice how we just went through and cleaned up all those faces. If I come in here, select this door, and look at the faces on it, every one of them are backwards. Nothing is as it seems. Nothing is facing the right direction. That's just the nature of the beast. And is it going to prove me wrong? Or are those showing through from the opposite side? Wait a minute. Oh, I know why, because I haven't applied the transform yet. Okay, so I take this whole door. Oh, that is the left door. That's the original. Sorry. That would be the explanation, I think. Right door, left. No, actually, it is left door. Helps if I keep myself oriented straight. Okay, so I take this door and I say object, apply, all transformations. Then when I edit it, notice the transformation itself just reversed every one of the faces on here. None of the normals are facing outward, even though they're still showing. So what you do is if you just select all, mesh, normals, and flip, now they're all outward. And we can confirm that. We can even make them larger now so you can see. Everything is facing outward like it should. So that's a little trick about when you do the mirror image and you do the transformation. Without the transformation, what happens is it's not predictable where it's going to show up in your scene. So you need to apply all transformations when you're using different things in the scene. So for now, we're going to take this. I'm going to show the building again. And file save, file export as Babylon. And it popped up on my other screen. Export Babylon scene. It did it. There's one warning on a process complete, but it raised one warning. Sometimes it's about the textures, so don't worry about that just yet. That's another later time. Okay, come into here, Media Library, 3D Objects. Got the storefront. We're going to edit that. Upload here. Open and refresh the object. First we clear the cache. I know, it's all a set thing here. And refresh the object. And we should be ready to go. And there we are. We got some doors on our object. So there's our doors. We've added them in. They are to scale. We shouldn't have a problem. Got some shadowing things going on up there, but we'll take care of the shadowing as we do our textures. Okay, and there we go. We have a door. So then in WalkTheWeb, we'll come back. I'll teach you how we can make those doors work. But we're going to work on the inside of the building next so that we can finish out the way the insides are going to look and how we can put everything together and make it a really cool looking building on the inside. So see what we can do. Okay, well, I want to thank everybody for watching me today, and that was part 2 of this. It's going to be an ongoing series, taking a complete building that's custom from start to finish, and then we're going to put it into WalkTheWeb. We're going to create a full 3D store. I'll show you how to do it on all levels, so bear with me and follow along. But I hope you have a great day, and I will see you again real soon. So thank you for watching. Thank you for following and subscribing. If you don't find me here, you can always find me on Discord, so you can locate me there and ask questions at any time. Have a great day, and I'll see you again real soon.